Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Charlie Cobra Reviews coming at you in the flesh. This is our pilot episode for a feature I'm wanting to maybe start doing once a week called the Weekend Wrap Up, where we basically go over the most popular things that happen in the news of pop culture, like movies, TV shows, video games, and more. And if you were like me, on Thursday, this was such a big day this week, and the focus of this episode is going to be a recap of the Disney Investor Day meeting, where they basically talked about everything that's going to be coming out as far as, movies and TV series with Marvel, also the future of the Star Wars franchise, as well as several upcoming projects that Disney and Pixar have for feature films and TV series going forward. There's a lot to go over. I'm going to see how quickly I can go over everything, as possible, and hopefully I don't miss anything because there was a lot. So let's get started.
So first up is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Peyton Reed, the director, is going to be returning for this, the third movie in the Ant-Man films, with a full returning cast. Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Evangeline Lilly, Paul Rudd, and Michael Pena are all returning for this film. The character of Cassie Lang, Ant-Man's daughter, has been recast with Katherine Newton playing the role, so maybe this will have her fighting alongside her family, now that all of them are back from the dead. And the big bad for this one just might be Kang the Conqueror, as Jonathan Majors has been cast for the role. Next up is Armor Wars, which will see Don Cheadle reprise his role as James Rhodey Rhodes, otherwise known as War Machine. The premise of this series is actually a classic Marvel comic book storyline where Tony Stark's worst nightmare happens and his technology falls into the wrong hands. This series definitely has potential to be pretty cool, especially since in the comics, Tony goes to war against a bunch of armored villains, including Firepower, Stingray, the Crimson Dynamo, and the Titanium Man, all of which are powered by stolen Stark technology that has been given or sold to them by Justin Hammer. Now, Justin Hammer was the CEO of Hammer Industries. He was the guy in Iron Man 2 who tricked out the War Machine armor suit, and was last seen after the events in Iron Man 3, where he was in a prison where the fake Mandarin, played by Ben Kingsley, was. Now, after the events in Avengers Endgame and the 5-year time skip, it would make it 2023, and it means that he might be out of prison since 13 years have passed. Now, nothing was mentioned as far as Sam Rockwell reprising the role, but I heard that he said he would definitely be game if Marvel asks him. Next up is Black Panther 2, which actually got a release date of July 8th, 2022. It was said that Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of T'Challa was so great that, in honor of his death, Marvel would not recast the character. So, that means no more T'Challa, but that doesn't mean no more Black Panther. Black Panther 2 is supposed to explore the world of Wakanda and the other characters introduced in the first film, and there's still lots of speculation on who's going to take up the mantle of the Black Panther. A lot of people say that it should be his sister Shuri, played by Letitia Wright, and it's very possible that she will be the next Black Panther, and we'll see how that plays out. But what I'm wondering is, who might the bad guy or the bad guys for that movie be? Now, next up is Blade. And as far as Blade, since they announced it at Comic-Con last year, and, the casting of Mahershala Ali, they haven't really said anything. In fact, this recent update only said that, they're developing it, the storylines for it, and that they'll have an announcement very soon. Next up is Captain Marvel 2. Brie Larson returns as Captain Marvel, or Carol Danvers, and they gave a release date for this as November 11th, 2022. The movie will be directed by Nia DaCosta, and joining the cast, recently announced Ms. Marvel was played by Iman Vellani, and Monica Rambeau, who's played by Wandavision's Teyonah Parris. Now, if Monica Rambeau sounds familiar, it's because she's the daughter of Captain Marvel's best friend, Maria Rambeau, who was played by Lashana Lynch in the first film. and in the comics, she gains superpowers when she's exposed to an intense energy blast. And she not only joins the Avengers, but becomes their leader at one point. Next up is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, or the second Doctor Strange film. Now confirmed is Rachel McAdams returning for the role of Christine Palmer. I'm sure a lot of you are excited about this film like I am since the announcement that Sam Raimi would be directing it. He was the director for the first 3 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. Also, Benedict Wong will be returning as Wong and Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordor. And also added to the cast is Hajatul Gomez as a mystery role, which hasn't been confirmed yet. Filming is said to start as soon as Benedict Cumberbatch finishes his role in Spider-Man 3, which is now in production. Now, not much has been revealed as of plot, but Kevin Feige of Marvel said that the events in this sequel will be directly related to the WandaVision series on Disney+, and also that Wanda Maximoff, or Scarlet Witch, will be getting in on the action on this movie. So we will have to keep waiting for any more plot details and also keep wondering about who the big bad will be for this film. So next up is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which actually had a trailer come out, and I'm going to leave the link in the description. But man, if you haven't seen that trailer, you really got to check it out because it's really awesome. This series is really starting to look like it's going to be really like a movie quality, and they say it's going to happen over 6 episodes, so I imagine it's kind of like a movie that's just been broken up into 6 episodes. Also, the release date was given as March 2021 when it'll be coming out on Disney+. Now, as far as any other updates, they didn't really say anything, but a lot of stuff has been leaked, since it was announced at Comic-Con last year. And basically, there's going to be the return of the character, Zemo, or Baron Zemo from the comics, which was played by Daniel Brühl, and also a return of Sharon Carter, which was played by Emily Van Camp. So we'll see how their characters are going to be coming out, and we'll see what they're going to want to do with Captain America's role and his shield with Anthony Mackie as the Falcon. Next up is the Fantastic Four. Now, everybody's been wondering what Marvel was going to do when they reboot this one, and so far, all they said was that John Watts, the director from the new Spider-Man movies, will go ahead and direct this one. Now, everybody's in speculation as to which actors are going to be chosen for this movie, and that's something that, is really going to be big in the next year or two, I think. But he's still making the 3rd Spider-Man movie right now, so we'll see who he's gonna pick, or who they pick once that movie is done. And Fantastic Four is a really great property from Marvel. It's a shame that they haven't done anything with it, especially since in the 2000s, when Chris Evans was the Human Torch, and Jessica Alba's Invisible Woman and everything in that movie was, in those movies, I think, even though that they were not great, they were still better than that reboot they did with Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan, which was just straight horrible. Now, the next one is the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which, other than it being holiday related, there wasn't a lot given out as far as any details. Now, it is said that it should drop around, holiday season of 2022, but there wasn't a firm, release date given on that. And I guess we're just going to have to see, if it's going to be, which Guardians are going to make their way for this and what it's going to be about. But, it should be a lot of fun. Now, next up is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And this one is expected to have a release in theaters in 2023. Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, said that there's been a lot of changes to the script, especially since COVID and learning how to film with social distancing and everything, really played a part in changing Disney and Marvel Studios' scheduling and how they film everything. But they should be starting to film this one, next year. I think that the biggest questions that people want to know about is, what happened to the time displaced Gamora, and if we'll see anything regarding Adam Warlock after that tease of the end of the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So next up is the Hawkeye series, which will be coming out on Disney Plus, and it's given a loose release date for late 2021. The big thing has been, a lot of the leaked pictures showing off Haley Steinfeld, who's going to be Kate Bishop, or Hawkeye's daughter, in the movie. And, Jeremy Renner is going to reprise his role of Clinton Barton, or Hawkeye. And, the pictures look really awesome. As well as the cast, it's been confirmed that Vera Farmiga, Fra Fee, Tony Dalton, Zahn McClarnon, Brian Darcy James, and Alaqua Cox are all on board to join the Hawkeye series and the MCU. Now, as far as who they'll be playing or cast as, Fra Fee is reportedly playing a character called Kazi, which might be short for Kazimierzak, which is a mercenary villain, the clown, and Vera Farmiga is going to play the role of Eleanor Bishop, which is the mother of Steinfeld's Kate. Tony Dalton will star as Jack Dunsky, a.k.a. the Swordsman, and is kind of a mentor to Hawkeye, who's seen in the comics to be both a hero and a villain. And, Alaqua Cox, will go ahead and be Maya Lopez, which is a.k.a. Echo, which is a deaf Native American capable of perfectly copying another person's movements, kind of like Taskmaster, but a good guy. And also a big thing was finding out that Florence Pugh will reprise her role as Yelena in the series as well. So, we'll be seeing how she does in the new Black Widow movie and how she does on this show too. Now, next up is I Am Groot, which is going to be a animated series. And it's going to be about Baby Groot. Now, not a lot is known about this other than that it's going to be based off of the I Am Groot comic book series from 2017. Basically he's in his own adventures trying to get back to, the rest of the Guardians. And, a little description that was given is that when the Guardians of the Galaxy get caught in a wormhole, a smaller than normal Groot is separated billions of light years away from the team. Falling to a planet below, Groot discovers he is on an entirely alien and unknown world full of strange creatures and societies. Seriously underdeveloped and with nobody who can understand him, Groot will need to make the journey to the center of this world and find his way back to his family. Now, Vin Diesel has been set to return to voice Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. However, it hasn't been said if he'll voice Baby Groot in this Disney series. But, Kevin Michael Richardson has voiced Groot in almost all the American, animated series such as Ultimate Spider-Man, Avengers Assemble, Hulk, and Agents of Smash, and even the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series from 2015. So, it's very possible that he'll be voicing this one as well. Next up is Ironheart. And, for those who aren't familiar with Ironheart, basically she's a young genius who builds her own suit of armor and the spiritual successor, I think, of the Iron Man character, Tony Stark. It was announced that Dominique Thorne will portray Riri Williams, which is, Ironheart. And to give you a little background on that character, she first appeared in 2016's Invincible Iron Man #7. She's a 15-year-old engineering student attending MIT, and she uses her genius-level intellect to assemble her own suit of armor using scavenged pieces of Iron Man's armor. She replaces Tony Stark as Iron Man after he goes into a coma in Civil War II, and later she takes up the mantle of Ironheart whenever he returns. Later in the comics, she also becomes a member of the Champions, which is a younger version of like the Avengers, and she even fights alongside Ms. Marvel and Miles Morales and the Vision's daughter, Viv Vision. Now, next up is the Loki series, which will be coming out on Disney Plus, and it just got a brand new trailer that if you haven't seen it, you really got to check it out. It's awesome. It has a cast of Owen Wilson, Gugu Mbatha-Raw and Sophia Di Martino. And, also making an appearance is British actor Richard E. Grant, whose role is still being kept under wraps. Without giving out too many spoilers from the trailer, it looks like it's going to have to do with the TVA, which looks like it's going to have to do maybe something like, some sort of time policing agency, within the Marvel universe. Michael Waldron is going to be a writer and executive producer, with Kate Herron attached to direct all the episodes and also executive produce. I'll go ahead and leave a link to the trailer in the description, and also it looks like it's going to have a release date of early 2021. Now, next up is Moon Knight, which is a series that's going to be in development for Disney Plus. Kevin Feige described it as Indiana Jones-like adventure, and it'll be directed by Mohamed Diab. And the description for the series is, Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, a complex vigilante who suffers from dissociative identity disorder, and these multiple identities who live inside him are distinct characters in the series, and they'll appear against a backdrop of Egyptian iconography. Now, it's been confirmed that Jeremy Slater, the showrunner from Umbrella Academy, will go ahead and serve as the director or showrunner for Moon Knight. And there was speculation on Oscar Isaac being signed to the series as the actual hero Moon Knight, but that hasn't been confirmed. And what was confirmed recently is that Oscar Isaac will play Solid Snake in the Metal Gear Solid movie. Now, next up is Ms. Marvel. Now, Ms. Marvel is a newer character to the Marvel comics, and everybody was excited when Iman Vellani was cast as Kamala Khan, which is Ms. Marvel. And they have a big team of directors coming to this show that'll be on Disney Plus. Adil El Arbi, Bilal Falah, Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy, and Mira Menon are all directors on this project, and it's based on a script from the actual writer of the comics, Bisha K. Ali. Kevin Feige was really wanted to emphasize that the Disney Plus MCU shows are going to have large ties to the big screen in movies or whatever, and used Ms. Marvel as an example there. It looks like it has a release date of late 2021, but it's definitely going to tie in with the Captain Marvel 2 movie, as the character Ms. Marvel will be coming out on there. And just a little description of the series. It says, 16-year-old Pakistani American Kamal Khan is growing up in Jersey City. She's a great student, avid gamer, and voracious fanfic scribe who also has an affinity for superheroes, particularly Captain Marvel. However, she struggles to fit in at home and at school. That is until she gets superpowers like the heroes that she always looked up to. Now, I'll be leaving a link in the description to the trailer that came out for this series. However, it's a mix of interviews and clips from the show. It's not really an official trailer. So next up is Secret Invasion, which is going to have Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn return as Nick Fury and the shape-shifting Skrull Talos. This is going to pull from the 2008 Marvel Comics crossover of the same name, and that storyline has the heroes of the MCU, discovering that some of their friends and foes have been replaced by these, Skrulls. It even has where the Skrull Empress Veranke is, secretly within the Avengers herself, sowing division between the superhero group, and having them be distrustful even towards their closest friends. Kevin Feige described it as, just like not all humans are bad and not all humans are good, the Skrulls have, a variety of moralities amongst them. And just the way that we saw in Captain Marvel that there was good Skrulls, I think this is going to explore some of the bad Skrulls and, what, they can have, and as far as that storyline. And looks like, maybe it'll even take place during those years that, Captain Marvel took off with Talos answering
next
Fury's
up
call.
is
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which has been given a release date of July 9th, 2021. And, they went ahead and released, a big chunk of the cast since production had just wrapped up. And, Simu Liu is Shang-Chi. Tony Leung will be Wen Wu, Aquafina as Katie, Menger Zhang as Xialing, Michelle Yeoh as Jiang Nan, Ronnie Chang as John John, Fala Chen as Jiang Li, and Florian Munteanu as Razor Fist. And, it says a little description that, Shang-Chi must confront the past he thought he left behind when he is drawn into the web of the mysterious Ten Rings organization. And, Wenwu is believed to be Shang-Chi's father and the leader of the terrorist organization Ten Rings. It's also speculated that Katie is Shang-Chi's friend, while Zhang Nan's role has yet to be revealed. So next up is She-Hulk, and it was announced that Tim Roth will be coming back as the Abomination, and Mark Ruffalo will be coming back as the Hulk for this series. Also Tatiana Maslany is going to play Jennifer Walters, or She-Hulk, and she comes from that Orphan Black series on BBC. The series is going to be directed by Kat Coiro and Anu Valia, with Jessica Gao serving as the head writer. And, everybody is super hyped about this because, for one, the Hulk hasn't gotten his own series, his own film. So this will be exciting to see the Hulk again in a way that maybe we've never seen him before. And also because it's been said that Charlie Cox will maybe reprise his role as Daredevil from the Netflix series because, Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, is Bruce's cousin who acquires some of his superhuman abilities by way of a blood transfusion. Now, she continues to work as an attorney in addition to fighting crime on the streets, and it's said the series will see plenty of the titular character in the courtroom, and maybe even, see Matt Murdock, which is Daredevil, as a lawyer. Next up is Thor: Love and Thunder, and this film should actually see Natalie Portman's character becoming the first female Thor, and with that, Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, and Tessa Thompson are all set to return to their roles, which has a release date of May 6th of 2022. Now, the big news is that Christian Bale will be joining the MCU and playing Gore the God Butcher in this movie. And basically, his character inherits supernatural powers and looks to destroy all the gods as payback after his family was killed one by one. And in the comics, he has a history of run-ins with Thor and Loki. So, definitely excited to see what he brings to the movie and, what direction they go with, as far as the storyline and how they make it different, but, still awesome. So next up is WandaVision, which premieres January 15th, 2021 on Disney Plus, which just got a new trailer for which I'll be putting the link in the description as well. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. It's pretty cool and a little confusing, but I see what they're getting at with this series as well. It looks like it might have comparisons to the House of M X-Men comic book storyline, where Wanda suffers a mental breakdown after losing her children and creates a happier alternate reality to cope. Now, in the trailer, it might not be of her own doing. It looks like, if she's in some kind of illusion or, maybe hologram that seems to be breaking down, and kind of seems like, more sinister things or forces are at play as to why she's there. Along with the trailer, it was announced that Darcy Lewis, which is played by Kat Dennings from the Thor franchise, and Jimmy Woo, which is played by Randall Park from the Ant-Man franchise, will be coming out too, as well as Teyana Paris, who plays an adult Monica Rambeau from coming out in Captain Marvel 2. So, it's been said that, the plot of WandaVision will tie directly into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, last up is the What If series, which has been slated to release next summer on Disney Plus. and we'll see the return of many actors like Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Hemsworth, Paul Rudd, Jeremy Renner, and more to reprise their roles and voice their own characters. For those new to the Marvel concept of What If, it takes very familiar storylines and characters from the comics and changes them in a really unique way and totally different path or direction. Kevin Feige said the series will deliver new takes on all the 23 movies in the MCU franchise, and it's already been confirmed for season 1 that one of the stories will be what if Peggy Carter had taken the super serum instead of Steve Rogers, Captain America? And another one, what if T'Challa never became Black Panther and instead became Star-Lord with the Guardians of the Galaxy? And that does it, everybody. That wraps up the Marvel announcements section of this video. Thank you for sticking with me to the end here for that. I wish I could have put the trailers in here as well, but I don't want to have to fight YouTube over any copyright issues. And if you're interested in more Disney Investor Day news, then stay tuned. The next section is going to be all the great Star Wars news.